Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspiration Report for August. We're excited to have you here. Make sure you get yourself a nice morning beverage, comfortable place to sit, and we'll be starting shortly. All right, welcome to the Inspiration Report for August. We are super stoked to be here. So stoked, I had to use another one of my stingers. What? You know I love those, you guys, you know. So welcome. Stinger. What's up, Jose? How you doing, man?
Hey, everybody. Good to be back.
Yeah, man, we totally missed you, and don't think that we did any decent job because we didn't, right? I totally ignored the chat, and people were like, dude, you got to go to the chat. And I was like, well, sorry, I forgot. I'm definitely not you. So, Sean, I don't know about you, but I'm super stoked to have Jose back.
Of course, I'm always glad to have you. I'm glad he had a tryout for the German cycling team on his way to the studio.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was good.
Oh, you guys, I just want to stop for just a moment and recognize how awesome Jose is. So not only does Jose have a day job, right? He's got a day job. He's also, you're getting a degree right now too, are you not? You're like in school right now. And
double degree.
He is the best producer ever. So I have Jose help me with all my Zooms. And yesterday I have an 8 session thing with a big client. And Jose, he chimes into the meeting, to the Zoom, and I see he's got a new backdrop. It's like this brick staircase. I'm like, dude, you got a new backdrop? And he's like, nope, that's my staircase, and this is the door to my house that I don't have a key to. And he was producing my Zoom outside of his house, locked out of his house, dude. Come on. That is like dedication.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
It really is great. It really is great. Well, again, welcome everybody to the Inspiration Report. You know this is like our favorite thing to do. Sean Brown, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know Sean Brown, he is an innovation catalyst, an amazing guy. We've been friends for a long time. I actually, when I first started being an innovation catalyst, I took his role as an innovation catalyst, and he kind of taught me everything I know, right, Sean? And then you went on and learned some more stuff, and we're still pals, and it's pretty cool. So welcome, Sean Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
We are gold medal thinkers, Lee.
We
right?
are.
Spirit of the Olympics, gold medal thinkers.
Yeah, and I loved your post, man. That was so cool, man. It's exactly what we're gonna do today. We are gonna inspire you. If I had the copyright stuff to play Chariots of Fire, I'd totally play it, but it would get copyright stricken. But I want to play that kind of stuff because it's going to be triumphant today, and I hope you guys get that same warm, fuzzy feeling that you do when you watch the Olympics. We just want to go over a couple things, so I'm going to go back to our presentation really quick. Just give me an opportunity to use another stinger.
Wayne's World. Woo, woo, woo.
So you guys, again, for those of you just joining us, just know we're not professionals at broadcasting. We are using homemade stuff. What, not homemade stuff? What is it? Open source stuff to do this. We are taking advantage of the trend. We're not in our basements, but we might as well be, right, Sean? So
that's exactly
that's just
right.
That's just the way it goes. So thanks very much for bearing with us there. The next, we like to go over some rules just because we want to make sure everybody behaves right while we're together today. And these are the same rules. Yeah, right. They're the same rules that you find at any one of our brainstorm sessions. Want to stay positive and open-minded, so please no trolling in the chat. I know you guys won't do that, but we just got to say it out loud. Make sure you share the air. Let everybody have a chance to talk in the chat. Of course, be respectful. Really want you to build in yes and. So one of the things that we do this for is to make sure that you have some inspiration, so when you're creating ideas, you have something to draw from. So if you have an idea and you want to post it, we're going to help you by building on it. And yes, and it's a natural thing that Sean and I do anyway when we're together, so we would love to have you do that as well. And please, please, please pay it forward. If you see something that inspires you and you think somebody else in any one of your communities would like, please make sure you send it forward, and just inspire them. We really appreciate you all coming, and we want to make sure that we go beyond our boundaries here to inspire. And of course, let's have some fun. Let's have a little bit of fun. Sean, tell us about this one. I always throw back to you on this one.
Well, I'm glad he's holding the bottle because today is International Beer Day, everybody.
All right.
Yep, and usually it is 5:30 for Jose p.m., so he can run the camera for us at the same time. But yeah, bear with us. If sound goes, feel free to let us know in chat. We can make some corrections, but just hang in there with us.
Nice. And I just want to look at the chat, see who we got here. So, hey, we've got some great VIPs. We got Mark in the house. What's up, Mark? What's up, Janice? Nancy Deborah is back. We missed you last time, Nancy Deborah. Good to see you. It looks like who else is in? We got Anthony from New York in here. We got Kelsey, who's new. That's awesome. So thank you for being there. And Juliet, I see Juliet in there too. So if you are not logged in, you have to log in to be able to chat with us. So please create a login and please follow us. Because we want to stay connected with you. At the end of this, we will have Jose post all of our connection information. So definitely, please stay connected. So Sean, are you ready to rock and roll?
Let's go, buddy.
All right, Jose, you ready to go, bud?
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. First up, interesting stuff, boy. Sean. Speaking of the Olympics,
yes.
Wow.
So I am just totally an Olympics guy, right? That was my dream, was to be on the Olympic hockey team. Wasn't go to the pros, so I pretty much watch anything.
Is that hockey team because you grew up in the north, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. 1980 Olympic hockey team, right? Beat the Russians, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
So this just really caught me. And maybe it's being a dad with two daughters that are both college age, right? They're young women now. But look, at the end of the day, the disparity of male-female athlete experience is ridiculous at this point. And I'm going to assume everyone has heard a lot of the story about the Norwegian handball team, right?
Yeah.
So that's the picture that is on the left over my head. You can see the men's uniforms, super comfy, airy, right? Shorts, loose tank tops. And then the women are in their bikinis. They're athletic bikinis. And sorry, everyone may have heard this, but basically they were fined because they didn't want to wear the bikinis anymore. They wanted to wear something a little more covering. Women's or indoor volleyball shorts, right? Which we know that, yeah.
I mean, it's like you said, it's definitely a double standard, Sean, you know?
Total double standard.
Yeah.
And then there's been, as I was looking at this, you could, one pictures of the gymnast, that's the German women's gymnastic team. They got tired of wearing the leotards, so they wanted to wear a full unitard. Great, shouldn't be an issue. Breastfeeding, apparently, for a few athletes that are new moms has been an issue at the Olympics. They wanted access to be able to continue to breastfeed, and it was not a comfortable situation. And then the last thing, and I'll get off the soapbox for any comments, the exact opposite happened for a track and field female Paralympian. She apparently got approached by someone who said, you shouldn't be wearing those bottoms. They're too revealing. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't as a female athlete. It's just kind of crazy. Year 2021, right? It's just crazy.
Right. And also, why don't we just pitch to see what the teams would prefer to wear, and then we'll go from there, right?
I said to my wife, maybe for the next Olympics, we should just go all original Athens, and everyone's naked.
Yeah.
and
I'm just, I'm inspired for them stepping out. To me, having the courage to step up is pretty awesome, and also challenging the status quo. We talk about innovation all the time, and innovation is about making people feel uncomfortable and challenging the status quo, and that's what they did. So kudos to them for doing that. All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Next up, let's get ready for the TikTok. This is so awesome. First of all, it just reminds me, I'm totally overwhelmed with the Suicide Squad John Cena interviews, because that guy is staying in his costume for all of the interviews, and it's like so cool, right? So this is the first thing I thought about with John Cena, and I wish I had the song queued up again. It'd probably get copyrighted, but every time John Cena comes out, you got to play the song, right? So there is a new way to show your social media chops. TikTok, after TikTok launched a resume feature, the social video app is teaming up with WWE in search of the next great ring announcer for SummerSlam, which happens August 21st, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Starting Monday, users can upload their most entertaining videos to TikTok with the hashtag WWE Announcer Contest. The top performers will win a trip to SummerSlam at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. So, I actually was, Sean, I just got back from an amazing in-person conference of a collective of wedding DJs, and these guys were like the most amazing people. I just loved hanging out with them, and also they get paid like $5 to $8 grand for the weddings that they do, and they do some amazing weddings. And they had some guy come and talk to them about TikTok and basically about Gen Zs, and basically I learned that Gen Zs have an attention span of about 8 seconds when it comes to TikTok. So, Sean, as you're creating your TikTok personality, you want to be appealing to the younger audience, remember 8 seconds. I'll ask, I've got, I see Lauren is out there, the chat marketer. Lauren, would you concur with that? I would imagine you do. But, yeah, you got to have your TikTok personality out there. I'm actually going to start one. I made my TikTok debut on my buddy Jose's TikTok. Not you, Jose, but this other guy I met. And, yeah, I might be a TikTok star. And come on, we got voice. You got voices here, Sean. Let's do this. We don't need dialogue. Right. We have voices,
I just want to be the voice of the wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. What do you say? I'm going to go to the chat really quick, Jose, so give me just a second to move to you. What do we got? What are we talking about here?
Right, so talking about the Olympics, Nancy Deborah said naked Olympics and togas. Apparently that's going to be 2024, 2025. And yeah, the chat vector, I think it was Lauren, you said? When they design TikToks, they focus on second zero. So if you don't capture attention at second zero, you wasted time by making the video.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Exactly. You have a TikTok account, Jose?
Yeah, but I just follow my niece that she does all the cool stuff. I just go like.
Awesome. All right.
Ghost TikToks for you, kind of.
Yeah, I got to get into it, Sean, though. I don't want to be left in the dark. It took me long enough to get into Snapchat. Now I'm in Snapchat and everybody wants to go to TikTok. Can't keep up, man.
Nope, you're so old.
I don't want anybody to okay boomer me. I'm a Gen X and I'm proud of it. Darn it. Nothing against the boomers in the audience, Mark. Just kidding. All right, what's up next? Backseat drivers.
Yep, getting a lift from Ford. So Ford, in partnership with a company, an AI company that they have partial ownership of, they've announced plans that they're going to offer self-driving rides through Lyft beginning sometime this year.
Wow.
So literally, it's going to start as human drivers as backup. So how's that any different from like backseat drivers? I guess we're promoting, hey, we got a backseat driver, and it's a good thing. Before they literally go completely autonomous.
That's sooner than we think, right? I mean, based on the technology emerging, it's sooner than we think.
It totally is, right? 1,000 driverless cars in multiple markets over the next 5 years.
Wow.
It's totally coming.
I went on a trip to New York for another gig that I did, and I had my first self-driving car, which was interesting because it stayed really well on the road, but it really got mad at you if you took your hands off the wheel. But, I mean, you could actually take your hands off the wheel, and it was about probably 60 to 90 seconds in. It was like, bing, 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 put your hands on the wheel, darn it. So...
Toyota's had this cool commercial. Sorry, Ford, I know we were plugging you, but Toyota's had this cool commercial during Olympic coverage of a prototype car, and it's like basically taking Siri matched with a personality of a human and a video game smashed together in this car. It shows people doing karaoke in it. It winks. It talks to you. Like,
all right, I still want C-3PO or Kit. Okay, I want that.
Right.
That's a thing. I will pay for that. Whoever's listening, I will definitely pay for that. All right, Jose, tell us, what do we got going on? Who's saying what here?
Right, so we have the TED marketer as well. So she's really focusing on the second zero. It's not only on the thumbnail, but needing curiosity that invokes enough attention. Grabbing off a hook to get to not swipe past. So they also run ads. So the fatigue is real. It takes 3 days.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, we don't have IDs yet, Lauren. Sorry, we're working on that. Sean and I are getting our TikTok personalities perfect before we launch it. Which you're not supposed to do, apparently.
This report will be 8 seconds.
Right. Okay, Sean. I know we got some bad news here, but there's definitely some impact on what's happening. So tell us a little bit about this.
This is the lounge singer saying we're going to bring the room down for a minute.
Yeah.
I highlighted this just as a trend, right? And it's a tough one to swallow a little bit, but without going super deep into the numbers, because as I read the article, some of them are a little confusing, but at the end of the day, it's estimated, and I think this is from April, about 1.5 million children have lost one or both primary caregivers to COVID, and the impact that this is making from an orphan perspective globally. But when I saw the article, it was just kind of a kick in the teeth a bit, right? Of what is this going to mean? How does the market react to this happening?
Yeah.
But it's not like it was 1,000, not like it was 100,000. I mean, it's up to 1.5 million kids now have lost one or both caregivers, and already it wasn't that okay. It's a parent. It could be a grandparent, right? So.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's really interesting, Sean. Like I said, I learned about the Gen Zs, and Gen Zs have a lot of heart, right? And so most of the things that with brands that they follow is to make sure that brands are doing the right thing. And it seems like when you have a grief situation like this, your heart gets bigger, right? You have an expansion for just loving, right? Because if it's taken away from you, it just makes you think differently. So imagine the next generation of these kids. They're going to really expect more. They're going to expect a lot more transparency. They're going to expect a lot more heart. They're going to expect that we're going to do something about that brands are going to do something about their environment around them. So it's a really big eye opener that brands should be paying attention to now, because these kids will grow up fast, and we're not going to be ready for them if we put them in the same buckets that we do Gen Zs and millennials, right?
And you know what got me, I guess, Lee, the other thing I'm thinking about as you're talking is we've talked with other peers and stuff. What are we going to see in 5 to 10 years that has been a result of this 18 going on 24-month COVID experience, right?
Yeah.
But now it's plus for 1.5 million kids that have lost a parent or both caregivers. So anyway.
Interesting.
Tough trend.
Also, it's also a good plug for vaccinations,
Yep.
Okay.
We have some comments on the chat before we because
good. Okay,
really
I'll go to you. Go for it, Jose.
Great, cool. So Kelsey Davis says she agrees. Opening up the cap will change things for the better. I heard that Domino's was testing automatic delivery vehicles, and Uber was doing something similar for rideshare and Uber Eats. I'm glad Lyft is getting on board. Nice. And Nancy Deborah says we already have a hard time communally supporting single parents households. Yep. And we have a huge opportunity to educate people on trauma, CPTSD, PTSD, and the impact to the development of the brain. Yep.
Absolutely. And Jose, the interesting part of that is at the end of our report today, we have something really therapeutic to show you guys that we all can do, that we all can rally around, right, Sean? And so I'm really looking forward to showing everybody that. All right, let's move on to the next thing here. Sean, I'm going to go ahead and let you take that one too, if you don't mind.
Sure, buddy. This one can be quick, but there's I had not heard of this organization, Just Women's Sports, and it is primarily a website and kind of content company focused on exactly that, women's sports. But you can read it and kind of be like, well, big deal. But then at the same time, it's like, I can't believe that nothing was created for this. But they created a sports ticker, AKA an ESPN site that shows the scores and information of just women's sports and teams. And I just thought it was interesting, right? I mean,
No,
Again,
it's really
going back
interesting,
to-
and it's like, why are we just now getting this, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Oh,
yes,
I'm really glad they did it. So where do you have a link for it, or where do you find it?
Yep, justwomensports.com. They've put this ticker at the top of their website, so it's a one-stop shop for scores and updates on all women's sports. And I believe
Nice.
it's also on an international level, so it's not just like U.S. pro sports, women's leagues, and I believe they plan to expand on it as well.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, thank you for that. So let's just talk a little bit about bus stops. So one of the things, I don't know, Sean, if you enjoy it as much as I do, but when I travel, I love just totally diving into public transportation, especially when it's like good and well organized, right? I just got back from Denver. I totally took the train from the airport all the way to the hotel, took the little mall bus around to get to my hotel. Super, super cool. Again, when it's organized, really nice. I remember, 2, 3, 4 years ago, I decided to ride the bus from my home in Claremont to Celebration. A little bit challenging here in Florida. Our in Central Florida, our public transportation system is not as good as it could be, and especially when it comes to bus stops. I mean, there's so many bus stops along Highway 192 where I was commuting that don't even have covers on them. So when it torrentially rains down on these poor people waiting for the bus, they're soaked. But here is something that we found on Springwise. There's evidence that bees and other pollinators are not only decreasing in abundance, but they are also becoming less healthy. The Living Roofs is this company, and they've been designed in conjunction with outdoor advertising site owner Clear Channel, and they're currently adding these basically live green rooftops to bus shelters. 30 bus stops plan to be installed around the city. They are planted in a mix of wildflowers and sedum plants, and which is a favorite among pollinating insects. And they're part of a planned initiative to convert all 470 bus shelter in, where was it? Leicester, I think, in Leicester, Britain. As part of a planned initiative to convert them to make it more eco-friendly and also help with the bee population. So just a creative way to think about an everyday thing. First of all, here in Florida, let's get some bus shelters and let's do something eco-friendly with them, right?
It's the most ridiculous design, I think, ever, right?
Yeah. A
other
couple other takeaways, Sean. Sorry. Like many cities around there, Leicester is working towards becoming carbon neutral by 2030. The bee stops are a small but very visible part of this plan and are designed to complement the city's new carbon neutral bus station. They may also provide inspiration for those who want to add small green roofs to outdoor structures like shed and chicken coops. So think about those structures that you have out in your own backyard. How eco-friendly could you make those by doing this?
Lee, the other thing that I liked about this, it's a perfect example of how do you think about unused assets, right?
Yeah.
Like Amazon was exploring deliveries to the trunks of their cars, right? It's an asset that could have multiple purposes if you just take a moment to think about it different.
Right.
That's what I love about this.
Just gotta get out of your river of thinking, right? Jose, what's going on in the chat, buddy?
So Kelsey says, save the bees. Love it. And the chat marker says, will there be fans to prevent the bees from being attracted to bus attendees?
Interesting.
Thinking about those with several allergies, right? So getting an ambulance bill while trying to get to ride the bus, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Maybe they should, maybe Lauren, they should also have like little break glass in case of emergency EpiPens nearby.
There's the sponsor. EpiPens.
Yeah, there's a delicate balance to be had there too, right? So if you do one thing, you could scare away, people, that kind of thing. And also bees seem to be attracted, like mosquitoes. They seem to be attracted to the people who are allergic to the bees. I always I love going camping with the one person that attracts all the mosquitoes, because then you don't have to worry about getting bit. But that poor person's hating it. I'm never one of those people too, for some reason. All right,
bus ride to the hospital.
Let's see what's going on. Oh, goodness, dude. This is so great. I'm queuing up the video now.
So, unlike Lee, who had to be reminded who Usain Bolt is.
Sorry.
Right. Just a reminder, there is no such thing as common knowledge, right?
Yes.
But I just saw this. I'm a big fan of his, right? Again, the Olympics. He was the fastest man in the world. It's amazing how that record continues to get beat so often now. But this is the ultimate beer run, right? So I just thought it was funny, Mick Ultra doing this. this promotion where if you prove your exercise regimen and your run, they will send you a $5 coupon for beer at your local establishment.
Nice,
Fun,
nice,
unique, but I thought the commercial was funny.
All right, you want me to roll it?
Roll the bean footage.
Okay, I remember I'm gonna have to mute you, and Jose, remind me to unmute Sean so we can hear him. So Sean, don't talk right afterwards. All right, here we go.
Guys, you want to go to a bar?
Yeah. Which one?
Well, Usain Bolt is pointing right there.
Sounds good to me. Is Usain Bolt still outside, by the way?
I love that.
All right, do we have his audio, you guys? Sean, check.
Check, am I back?
You are back.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm noticing Kelsey says in the chat his face is absolutely priceless. It totally is.
It is.
Totally. All right, moving on. Thank you for putting that in, and thank you for also re-educating me on who Usain is.
Yes,
really
you
appreciate
bet.
it. And speaking of training, this we're calling Retrain Ourselves to Travel. So the French startup Midnight Train seeks to make comfortable overnight train travel easy, an easy switch for travelers used to queuing up for hours for their budget flights. And after recently taking a flight on Swoop in Canada, I totally empathize with this, and I can't wait. Now, I'm such a spoiled traveler. It's hard for me to travel on budget airlines. Rather than fly with a company that offers no in-flight amenities, sleeper trains provide comfort, ease of access, and are only slightly longer than a flight in many European routes. Of course, train stations are located in city centers, making it easy for them to get and greatly reducing wait time before traveling. So the company plans to introduce its first line in 2024 with at least 10 total planned to connect range of cities across the continent, including Edinburgh, Berlin, Milan, and Porto. And if you've ever been to Europe, traveling by train is the most awesome thing. I'm just so bummed that our train system isn't as reliable and awesome, and just it's just a pleasure to travel by train. Sean, anything else you'd add to that?
I just love that the effort to not just settle on what exists, right? Like there's always an opportunity to upgrade and think of doing something a little bit better. But I totally agree. Like the train, drive versus train experience, I would totally pay more money for a swanky overnight stay on a train. Yeah.
How long until they do that with autonomous buses or motorhomes, right? So like an eight room kind of thing where you can totally sleep on an autonomous bus. Crazy stuff.
I could totally see this being a huge romance boost too, right? Like overnight swanky train trip. I think it's gonna
be a thing, huh?
European population.
Okay, if anybody starts that business, Sean and I want in. So let us know. Jose, what's going on?
So we have Josh here, says that it's in France.
Cool.
And Mirage Create says traveling by train in Europe is awesome. Sleeping on a train, that is another story. I can relate to that. And Kelsey says, agree, never fly on a budget airlines. I experienced a 16-hour delay overnight. Never again. Midnight trains all the way.
I love Lauren says the Mile Wide Club. That's awesome. Awesome. Cool, guys. Thank you, Jose. We'll go back to that, and let's talk a little bit about Panama.
Yeah. Okay, so we have to ask, everyone needs to answer in chat. Okay, I'm going really deep on this one. Does anyone know what song this line is from? David Lee Roth says, I can barely see the road from the heat coming off. Anyone know that song, Van Halen song? So, yes, nice. That was quick.
I kind of gave it away, Sean. Sorry, I ruined your surprise.
Oh, man.
I know I did it. Sorry, it was my bad.
Brutal. Well, anyway, this is kind of interesting. It still fascinates me, right? Of course, I am not nearly a chemical engineer at all. That we know the color black attracts heat and reflects heat and generates heat, and yet we continue to make all of our pavement black. So this company has created a Pavement Technology Inc., a spray-on treatment, so essentially sunscreen for pavement that helps to lower the amount of heat that is given off from streets, and obviously helps with impact to climate and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So interesting. So
I wonder if it would help in Florida with the humidity. You ever notice that after it's been like super hot and it totally rains, it's like a steam bath, like super, not more than the normal steam bath in Florida. It's like a super steam bath after that.
Yep. And you get that smell. You get that concrete smell too.
Yeah.
Right? Crazy.
Also, I hope they make it non-reflective for those of us who are light-skinned gingers that burn easily, because reflections off this thing can be killer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, people don't believe that you can get sunburn from the reflection off the sand, off a window, off the cement.
Yeah.
You can. I have done it. It has happened.
My wife still says when it's cloudy, she doesn't need sunscreen. I'm like, all right.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Please put it on her anyway, please. All right, interesting stuff from the work from home kind of department here. So this is another great one. Thanks, Sean. You pulled from Trend Watching. Really cool. So in an effort to get work from homers out, they call them WFHers, out and about, the city of Montreal now has 23 outdoor workstations that are free for anybody to use. They're calling them Lots det, and they're little summer islands, basically. They were specifically designed for teleworking outdoors and feature power outlets, integrated lighting, and free Wi-Fi. There are aluminum and wood structures that can accommodate 2 socially distanced people and 6 at a normal distance. The canvas roof can withstand rain and wind, and each space also features native plants and a ramp for accessibility. The cabins were entirely designed and manufactured in Quebec and use sustainable materials. In addition to combating isolation for many teleworkers, the project hopes to share the benefits of green desking people for their mental and emotional well-being. And to me, I think that not only should the cities do this, but I just think about that our building and celebration, Sean, that whole open area right there, just putting these out there would encourage people to kind of go out, get out, have fun, sit down, relax, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and also get you out of the house, because if you don't want to really connect, because I know there's still hybriding going on, and now that we're getting more cases and stuff like that, people are opting to stay at home, but still we need to see people. We need to be outside, and we need to get with nature kind of thing,
Definitely.
I love these a few stats on the current state of work from home in Australia. 61% of polled working professionals believed a hybrid working model was the most productive, and 47% of employers were open to retaining work from home as part of their workplace mix source. I'd love to hear it in the chat. Are you guys hybriding? Are you working from home all the way? Is your companies requiring you to go back? What's happening? Sean, I know that at Disney they had called for coming back to work, but has that changed? Are you guys going to be doing a hybrid model, or what's going on?
There was a hybrid model, 3 days, and it's changed. It's communication has stopped for obvious reasons, and reassessing what might happen. But I do have to say, Lee, the WFHers, right? They're saying that they're WFHers, right, in Montreal. That's what they named them. It's because they're so excited to actually be with another human. It represents the greeting. They walk in and they go, "What's fucking happening?" WFHers.
WFHers. Right? I love it. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Let's go back to, it looks like Josh is speaking French out there, Jose. Is that what's happening?
I'm still trying to figure out what he's trying to say, to be honest. So I will go with the other comments.
No, teletravail. That's telecommuting, right, Josh? That's what I thought it was.
Okay. So yeah, we have a lot of people working from home. Anthony says doing a 3 in, 2 out. Working from home completely for now, but I miss in person quite a bit. I think we all do, right?
Yeah. Well, I miss the people. I don't necessarily miss working at a desk. I miss the people, Sean. I mean, really, and that's why it was easy for me to hybrid over to Zoom, because I started Zooming in 2018 just because I missed you all, right? I wanted to have a connection point, so I was like a Zoom expert by mid 2018. So as soon as COVID hit, I was like, woo, I can do this.
I mean, honestly, think of the pain in your mind and my mind for 2 guys that like to stand in front of people and collaborate, and we've been locked in our homes. Brutal.
One day, Sean, you'll come over to the studio. We'll broadcast live from the studio. If we just get Jose to take a plane over here, we'd be set.
That's right. just not a cheap flight.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
please
right.
no.
Yeah. No budget airline, Jose. We're paying first class for you. All right. Hey, hold on, Sean. I just actually learned. Do you know what a banana republic is? Do you know what that means?
Crap. I actually did look it up, and I can't remember.
It means a country that's supported by only one natural resource. So like it's which cracks me up because it's like, why would you name a company that, number one? Because it seems kind of weird. But yeah, I just learned it. One natural resource. So there you go. Look it up.
Well, very interesting, my friend.
Talk to me.
I'm trying to apply it to the story, and I just can't.
I know. I just. It was just a random piece of information.
Right.
I learned it from my wonderful wife, who is a greenhouse specialist.
You threw me a mental banana peel.
So I did. All right. Speaking of Gen Zs, let's get back to them.
So I actually thought this was really, really interesting. So my now 18-year-old daughter talks about going thrifting, right, and getting secondhand clothes and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So fascinating that Banana Republic went out and found and collected secondhand clothing, and then they were reselling it as vintage. So it wasn't just that; they also had stuff like in their archives or stuff they were bringing back that they had saved up or whatnot. But they were bringing back vintage clothing and just jumping on the trend with Gen Z liking repurposed, reused, so on and so forth.
Nice.
I just think it's a really interesting way that someone at Banana Republic said, "Hey, maybe we should sell some of our older clothes again and not make more that people don't buy." So
maybe
fascinating, right?
Won't end up at the landfill, that kind of thing. I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Jose, looks like there's some funny stuff happening in the chat.
Yeah, Laura just did a very good one. So Laura said, so is Korea a banana republic for BTS as a natural resources?
I love funny. BTS. I'll be playing some tonight at Beach Party Magic, BTW, Lauren. So be there. I mean, come on. Who doesn't love BTS?
Right.
Good stuff.
Exactly. So Kelsey also says, just Gen Z. I've been thrifting that for years. I agree. Myself as well.
Nice.
Well,
I got a bunch of sweaters from the 90s, Sean, that if you want to call them vintage, you go right ahead. I'll sell them.
I've taken stuff that I had in college that I used to have in my closet, right, stored away.
Yeah.
I put it on, and my daughter's like, "Hey, Dad, nice shirt." I'm like,
yeah.
This old thing? Like, no, really, this old thing? It's like 25 years old.
That's awesome. All right, well, speaking of fashion and garbage, let's talk about fashion and garbage, Sean. Gosh, I love it when people do cool stuff with trash, right? And this is an artist. It is Iris Van Herpen's collection for Paris Haute Couture Week, consisting, I didn't pronounce that right, Josh, sorry, consisting of 5 gowns covered in intricate, elaborate lace. And it's really hard to believe that these ethereal dresses are made entirely from trash. Trash. The Dutch designer has partnered for a second time with Parley for the Oceans, an organization that collects plastic waste from the ocean and then recycles it to create new materials. This time around, Van Herpen pushes the boundaries of recycled plastic, fabric, hand and laser cutting to create patterns that would not be possible with cotton or silk. The collection as a whole tells a larger story about the fragility of our planet and what it will take for people to survive this environmental crisis. And I think we have a video to show, Sean. It's kind of a long video, so I'm gonna fast forward through a little bit of it, but we're gonna watch it. Are you ready? And again, I'm gonna have to mute you, so Jose, make sure you remind me to unmute Sean there.
Alrighty.
I love the Blade Runner-ish soundtrack too.
The Hunger Games. I that is not going to work for me.
Super, super elaborate. Goodness gracious.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for putting that one in, Sean.
I'm here to inspire you.
Yeah.
Lee. That's what I do.
I'm trying to look and see how much that video costs, because that video looked really involved, and I don't see, like, we're going to save the planet, but you just wasted a bunch of resources to make the video.
The travel, right? And they did not fly cheap.
Well, I mean, and some helicopter had to put them up there. There was one with the model looked like she was skydiving. Super, super cool. Right. Hey, Sean, you know, one of the things that I miss about the office is a shared printer. And it's funny that you put this in here, because I remember when I worked at Disney Cruise Line, we had one good printer, and we'd always have to, if we had to put special paper on it, we had to yell in the office, "Special printing!" And so nobody would send their average stuff through and waste all your paper.
Right.
I don't know if you guys still have to do that there, but this totally reminded me of special printing.
Oh, God. I just picture you guys all having a button to the horn from Disney Cruise Line, right?
Yeah. No, we just yelled outside our offices. It was quite effective.
All right, so I'm going to assume two people have been seeing lots of different stuff with the upsizing of 3D printing, right? Started with plastic and printing little plastic gizmos just because we could. And it's been evolving into homes, and fascinating that Habitat for Humanity is testing building 3D printed homes in Arizona. They can print a home in, I think it's 2 weeks' time. And I believe the cost, and I'm sorry I didn't capture it, I believe the cost was maybe around $50,000. So, again, really interesting what this technology of 3D printing is doing, and speed and ease. You could even say safety.
Yep.
But I only thought about this now too. So what do you do for all the people in society that want to participate and volunteer and help and be involved? You don't need them anymore, right? So anyway, interesting.
Well, I mean, somebody's got to sit there and like look at this guy. He's watching it be done. You know, that's like. You don't want to make one mistake in that program, though, because you have to reset the whole thing. I have this really great friend of mine, Sean. He's a cosplayer, and Sean has an entire room that's dedicated to printing up his elaborate costumes of Boba Fett. And he says he'll get halfway through it, and there'll be one error in the code or something like that, and it throws off the whole thing. He has to reprint the whole Boba Fett again. Poor guy. Yeah, interesting stuff on where we're going with this. You know, this reminds me of Ready Player One and the stacks, right? Taking mobile homes and putting them vertical, or taking mobile homes and putting them vertical instead of across the way. Just an interesting way to build a home. And actually, we have a couple of kind of housing solutions coming up. This one, we call it the college dorm bubble. So colleges are prepping for a flood of students returning to on-campus dorms, but there's not enough housing for everyone. So elite colleges are offering cash ski passes to kind of ease their campus housing crunch. So it says undergrads looking forward to resuming in-person classes will be jostling for space with 20-somethings who took a year off and students who otherwise might be spending time abroad. So they're putting together promotions to say, hey, we want you to think of other possible solutions, stuff such as new modular housing or blocks or hotel space or something that's different instead of coming back to the dorms because we're going to be overwhelmed. So any other interesting things that caught your eye about this one, Sean?
It's just amazing how quickly shit is changing, right? In the world right now. Like
long term.
Yes.
Yeah.
But and it's not just a little shift, because seriously, as following education for my 9 to 5 quite thoroughly, and probably a good 6 months ago or even 4 months ago, it was about colleges going out of business and private schools not getting enough tuition and how are they going to stay alive. And then all of a sudden, we went to this, we're going back to college. Now you've got some of the same schools, right? Saying,
Right.
oh crap, we don't have enough dorm space and we're going to miss opportunities on that. But this also happened just before the last, 2 or 3 weeks? And COVID's research, unbelievable the change that is happening in society. And how do you keep up and react to it?
Yeah, I don't think that the phrase they were teaching us last year, the whole new normal thing, that we should just dump that phrase because there's no such thing. It really isn't.
Nope. It's just in the now, I guess, right?
Yeah. Oh, another great one from Barbie. Dude, I love this. They do so many creative things. Tell us about it.
And
oh, actually, hold on. I wanted to go to Jose real quick. Hold on. So, Jose, it looks like there's some fun stuff happening in the chat. Sorry.
Yeah, right. So regarding the 3D printed house, Sakagewa says, would the house appreciate or depreciate? And if it isn't habitable anymore, is the house even recyclable?
Yeah. And what happens if it catches on fire? Does it like poison everybody in the neighborhood, right?
Exactly. Yeah, good point. And Mirage says, I would rather ski than school. And I have to say, me too.
Yeah. Amen to that. Amen
we'll
to
put you
that.
in ski school.
Yep. All right. Tell us about Barbie.
Barbie obviously has done some interesting stuff with their change in objective and brand, right? I probably started 5 years ago, maybe, where they basically, Mattel finally said, we actually need to make Barbie smart and valuable to young girls and women, so on and so forth. So really cool that they've come up with, Mattel and Barbie is honoring 6 women who are modern life heroes of the pandemic. And they created one-of-a-kind dolls in their likenesses. And again, it's probably multiple opportunity here, right, of, hey, let's do something great just to say thank you and recognize the insanity of the world right now and the people that are working hard, but then a great nod for inspiring young girls and young women going into the sciences and medicine and making a difference in the world. I love too that they took, no one would know really who these people were. So they took people like us and they recognized them and thanked them and made them valuable in ways they never thought that they could be valuable, right?
And super role models too. Like just stepping up to showcase role models is an awesome thing. Love it. I hope they win awards for this stuff.
Lee, really quick too, it's on a global level. So really quick, Sarah Gilbert, professor of vaccinology at Oxford University, co-developer of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. Another woman, totally going to butcher her name, Chika Stacy Oriawu, a Canadian psychiatric resident who was an advocate against systemic racism in healthcare. Kirby White, an Australian general practitioner, co-founder of the Gowns for Doctors initiative, and then a few other, other folks. Just really
awesome.
Cool.
And speaking of inspiration, this is our final slide, you guys, and this is so inspiring. And Sean, before you start talking about Al Nixon, again, I hope you guys, if you haven't heard of Al Nixon yet, it's just such an inspiring story. But it just draws a memory back to when I was young. I used to travel during the summer. I would drive to San Francisco. I grew up in Northern California in my my dad's car with a group of commuters that we went. And every day we'd drive by this old guy who basically stood out and he waved at everybody going by. And he had absolutely no reason to do it. He just loved waving. And it made everybody in the car so happy that this guy just waved at us. And Al Nixon has taken just pay it forward and courtesy and kindness to the next level. So tell us a little bit about what he's doing, because it's just so great. It makes me feel so. I get verklempt just thinking about it.
I've been sending this article around to people today, and they all have texted back smiles and said, "Hey, this is really a great story." It's a great article. It's in our Linktree link. Totally recommend everyone read it. It's a little bit longer, but Al worked for the Water Authority in St. Petersburg. I believe he was a lifelong resident. And about 7 years ago, he just started getting up early to go sit on this one bench and watch the sunrise before he went to work. And so he was there every day, and some people started to notice. And about a year after he started, this one woman stopped by. She said, She said, every morning when I see you sitting here, I know that everything is going to be okay. And then that's when Al said, that's when I knew I needed to pay attention to the people walking past. I need to make eye contact and let people know that we mattered to each other.
Man, it's so important. It's so important. What an impact. He didn't even know the impact it was having until that lady stepped up and said something. And so think about all the transactions that you have during the day, Sean, right? And all the things that people look up to you for that you don't even know, right? You don't even know you could be an influence to somebody. It's just awesome. One of the things, I'm sorry, I'm just going to pull out one of the things from the article was that now that people they like to sit down and talk to him, right? And he basically sits there and listens without any judgment. He's just a great listener, and he's like therapeutic. It's so great.
He literally, he talked about the power of just listening to people and being willing to do just that. He quoted a really brilliant phrase. He said, the pandemic had everyone quarantined. The pandemic had everyone quarantined and connection deficient. I thought that notion of connection deficient,
way connection deficient
phrase, right? And Leah, and I would say here too, again, everyone can use this article. We're all about inspiring your perspective, how you think, how you apply stuff to your everyday. You could easily take some of these lessons even to a business perspective, right? The tool of listening, the tool of engaging with people, speaking with each other. He said, instead of staring straight ahead at the waterfront, Nixon started smiling at people and striking up conversations. And what a powerful tool that can be for all of us in lots of instances, right?
Well, how many times have somebody tried to do that with you and you've actively avoided it because you don't want to get involved in a conversation?
Right.
And this guy's like, he's doing it on purpose. And to me, it really covers, remember last month we talked about how important listening is. And for an average person to just sit down and start doing this, to me, it's setting the example. And that's how, we change society by being individuals and starting to do things like that. And so one thing, Sean, can I tell them what we were thinking of? So please, one thing, you guys, what we'd love to do right now is we'd love to have you think of ways to kind of pay this idea forward. So how are you going to be a better listener? How are you going to purposely connect? What kind of things are you going to do to just be a pleasure and an influence in somebody's life? And it might be something that you're already doing. I'm thinking that maybe when Lauren goes and walks her dog, maybe there's some other dog owner that's just like, wow, your dog is so well behaved, and they come up and talk to you because your dog is so awesome or something like that. Just think about the everyday things that you do. Maybe you're at the gym and people really admire the way you're there at the same time or something like that, or I don't know what it is, but we'd love to have you guys kind of do something like that, make a connection, think about how you're going to listen, and then we'd love to have you either email us, send it to us, post it on our LinkedIn page, and then come back next month and we'll talk about the kind of impact we had, because I'm telling you, I know it's a small group here, but every little bit helps, right? If we can all do a little bit of more connection, the world will absolutely be a better place. Right, Sean? Wouldn't you say?
I totally agree. And I'm going to put our email address in the chat. So anyone who does make a focused effort, right, on engaging with folks, whether it's professionally, whether it's personally, if you have an interesting story, we'd love for you to share it over the next month, and we'll highlight a page in our next report.
Nice. And Jose, tell us a little bit about what kind of chat's going on.
Right. So Nancy Deborah says, how many of us on our pre-COVID life said, how are you? As we continued walking instead of stopping and actually engaging to find out the answer to that question. Right. And Mirage Create says, well, we have kind of like the Oprah of hellos. She says that I do that on my bike ride every morning. I'm like, Oprah, you get a hello, you get a hello, you get a hello.
Everybody gets a hello.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. There's
no
awesome.
taxes for that, right? You don't pay any taxes on that.
It's for free. Yeah.
Well, Sean, that was a really great article to end today with, and I just want to not only thank you guys, Sean and Jose. I love being here every first Friday with you all. I look forward to it. I hope everybody out there looks forward to it. Sean, any parting words of wisdom or ahas that you want to tell us about?
I think just enjoy International Beer Day today if you can, right? I think we all deserve to have a nice cold frosty one, and continue to keep us in mind. If we can help you guys, anyone with your organization or company, let us know. We would love to work with you.
Nice. Jose, man, good to have you back.
Thank you.
I hope that September 3rd isn't a German holiday, because we want to see you back on September 3rd too. I know it's
no, that's saved. That's
okay,
saved
good.
for you guys.
It's Labor Day weekend for us, so we're going to send everybody off to a big holiday weekend for us. But you all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to my partners in crime, Sean and Jose. We are super stoked that you stopped by, and thanks for saying hi in the chat. Again, if you see anything out there that's really inspiring, please send it to the Gmail address that Sean posted in there. Jose, if you would post all... Oh, he did. Jose posted all of our connection points, so please make sure you connect with us if you haven't already. And put this on your calendar. It is the first Friday of every month. It's 11:30 Eastern Time, and we would love to have you here. But until next time, we will see you all later.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, everybody. Bye.